And listen, I got a scoop for you.
Okay.
This is the first time out on the air, in the papers, anywhere. I got a call last night, April 15th, Las Vegas. The MASH crew are being inducted into the NAB Hall of Fame.
Wow!
I mean, it was like last year was Carol Burnett, before that was 60 Minutes, before that was Star Trek, and now it's our turn. So
that's terrific.
Yeah, so I mean that's a hell of an award. I'm quite humble about it because when we did the show, it was like a job, and thank God for a job and some way to make a living. But here we are. I don't know, some 20 years later, and here's the head of NBC, here's Rupert Murdoch, and all kinds of people in Vegas handing us an award for doing this. And I'm very thrilled, and this is, people, an announcement.
Yeah. So, again, the entire crew of MASH, recognized by the NAB, and you're gonna wind up in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Where is the Hall of Fame? I don't know where that is.
Well, I don't know where it is either. I tell you the truth.
Make sure it's not some little storage locker.
I just sat back and I said, "Oh, that's very nice." I mean, about 3 years ago, we were inducted into the Producers Hall of Fame, but the NAB is just extraordinary. And explain please to people what the NAB is.
That's their National Association of Broadcasters. It's sort of like the self-governing organization.
Yes.
Controls.
It's
sets the standards, as it were.
Extraordinary honor. I mean, I don't know. My wife and I live about 3 blocks from the Museum of Radio and Television, Yakety Yak.
In New York?
Yes, in New York. And we go over there, and here's MASH, and here's pictures, and it's...
Do they have a special display set up? I suppose they will, then.
And special tapes of shows, and it is such an extraordinary honor.
Yeah. Now, when you talk about acting, and some actors I know don't like to watch their own work. When you go back and look, let's see, the last episode of MASH was on in 1983, I think. That was the final.
Yeah.
When you go back and look that far back at your work, are you happy with it?
Well, yeah, I'm quite pleased with it because that's the best I could do at the time. As we all get older, we get a little wiser.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's kind of strange because it's like looking at maybe somebody else doing it, because that's who you were then, and you are who you are now. And
you don't try to redirect it when you watch the episodes. You're happy with them. I don't know how anybody could criticize them. I think they're...
I don't. I think they were wonderful. They were incredible. It just astonishes me. I mean, they play here in New York. They give plot lines in the newspapers. This episode tonight of MASH involves, Yakety Yak, whatever the plot is, and that's just unbelievable.
Yeah. One of the things that McLean said, can you hang on a bit?
Yeah.
Larry Linville is on the line, and we had a ball. Larry Linville is the only celebrity that I can recall of his stature. I don't know where that stature is.
In my closet, maybe.
He's the only one that I know of that ever hosted Problems, well, not Problems and Solutions, but the flea market. We had you on the flea market.
I loved the flea market. I remember the 2 chrome rails that would fit on a, 1968 Chevrolet pickup.
We had a ball that night. I'll tell you, I got called in, and you were in town, and we had a great time. It was wonderful.
Hey, listen, we sold them.
Yeah, we did. We got rid of those rails,
and we got good money for them.
Well, that's good. I mean, the buyer was happy, but I think the seller was probably even happier.
Yes, so, I think they were both.
Yeah, that's what it's about. We're going to continue. You mind if we take a phone call or two?
No, please.
We are just kind of imposing on Larry today because I had nothing going on. But I've left a lot of messages on his machine and finally caught him home. So we got him. 829-2345 is our number, or 1-800-322-9377.
Amazing! Diamond Vogel Paints is giving roller covers away free. Diamond Vogel knows you need quality tools for a quality paint job. So during Diamond Vogel's March paint sale, they'll give you a free roller cover with every gallon of interior paint that you buy on sale. You save on the paint and get the roller cover free. Wow! Don't need a roller cover? Then choose from other free items. And while you're in the store, check out the savings on wallpaper and window blinds. Paints. Hurry, sale ends March 23rd.
Start your spring decorating now with Diamond Vogel's extensive selection of borders and wall coverings. Through the 23rd, all in-stock wall coverings are 20% off the everyday discount price. Plus, save 30 to 50% on all special order wall coverings. Buying a new home, see Diamond Vogel for a price on blinds, verticals, and soft shades, as well as paint and wallpaper. If you don't have the time to look through the books, or you think you don't have the creativity, Diamond Vogel can do it for you from start to finish. The ideas, the measuring, the estimating, the setup, and help you find installation. Diamond Vogel Paints, 1110 East Oakland, Bloomington.
If home heating is important to you, count on the Inside Guys. Count on a high-efficiency Carrier furnace from Mayo Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. The Carrier name is synonymous with the best in home comfort products today. And because the best products deserve the best dealers, Carrier is pleased to have Mayo as their locally owned and operated servicing dealer. After 10 years, Mayo Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning continues to offer 24-hour emergency service and free furnace estimates. Phone 828-7906. Mayo and Carrier. Count on the Inside Guys. Tax season is near, so you may be wondering what you can do to get your portfolio in the best shape possible and how to react to the proposed tax legislation. A.G. Edwards' new Tax Saver report contains the most current information regarding proposed tax legislation and also gives quick and useful tax reduction strategies you can use right now and before April 15th. Tax Saver can help you emerge from tax season with flying colors. Call Quentin Cook at 662-2000 today for your free copy of the Tax Saver and get the information you need. A.G. Edwards & Sons, member SIPC. All right, we have a caller on the line. You're on with Larry Linville on WJBC. Good morning.
Well, hi. I just want to say I have a 13-year-old son who, as my husband and I put it, he's a mashaholic. He has to watch it at 10 and 10:30 every night. And he's actually disappointed if David Ogden Steers is on, because Larry Linville is one of his favorite characters.
Well, I'll let you into a little dirt. Which was that David Ogden Stiers at the final party, the rap party for the final episode.
Yes. Came
about. I showed up, and David came over to me, and he said, "You didn't leave me much." And I said, "I didn't intend to." I mean, it was like, it was a great compliment, literally, from David. And
he is a fine actor, isn't he?
Oh, yes, he is. And he's also a conductor, which is extraordinary. I think he's been in Peoria conducting an orchestra. And I think that's where his true love lies.
Well, didn't he play a clock or something in Beauty and the Beast? Wasn't he one of the characters?
Yeah, I think he was. I don't know, because I was off doing something else.
Yeah.
And so I had no knowledge of what was going on.
They used his voice as one of the characters in that Disney cartoon.
Yeah, in the cartoon.
Yeah.
And, but, thank you, son. And he has good taste. Don't worry about him. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, if he was watching Married with Children...
No.
I would think the kid has a problem, okay?
That's all right.
All right, thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. McLean Stevenson had some great things to say about you. We interviewed him back in, September, I guess, because he came to the Normal Theater, and he came back home. Yeah. And he was talking about your character, how you developed it. In fact, they said they drove you nuts because they wanted you to act goofy one week, and then the next week they wanted you more conservative or whatever. I don't know. But
yeah, well, I had to accommodate what they'd written, and it's kind of difficult because you can't just create something linear, something that doesn't change. And but the writers would write something and then bring it to me and say, "Well, get away with it," which is a hideous compliment, really. A super compliment, because it's they believe that you can.
Yeah, but finally you laid down the law and said, "No, this is the way. This is the way Major Burns is. Right this way now." Is that what you did?
Well, superficially, in some ways, but simultaneously absolutely on the other side, Larry Gelbart would come to me and he'd say, "What would you like to see Frank do next?" And I'd tell him, and something unusual, and he'd go off and write it.
Yeah.
And then he'd bring it back and he'd say, let's see you do it. And I said, okay, I'm going to try like hell. Mm-hmm. And then I would make a suggestion, and Gilbert said, well, I didn't write that because I didn't think you could get away with it. And I'd get away with it, which was great fun.
Yeah.
Great fun. It was, a very friendly kind of challenge situation. I'll write you something and let's see if you can do it. And I said, okay, I did that. Write me something that's a little more difficult. And he would. And I'd get away with it. So the whole thing kind of escalated, and happily, it never got out of hand.
Yeah. What was it like working with McLean Stevenson? Can I talk to you a little about him?
Please.
When we come back.
Yeah.
Larry Linville's on the line. It's 11:20 at WJBC.
David Horeen of Horeen's Pianos Plus talks about the new Techniques organs.
They're our number one seller, so we're introducing them to the Bloomington normal market so that people can see what they are, see what they do, see how exciting they can be, and how easy they are to play. We have all age groups that come in and say, wow, this is nothing like my organ at home. I couldn't even imagine anything this advanced and this easy to use. That the Techniques has done that really has made it so successful is the fact that it's taken all of the sounds of the old great organs, the old mighty Wurlitzer theater organ, the Lowry, all the best sounds that we've ever heard, and they put it all into this one organ. The fact that we are always at least 20 to 30% below suggested retail, and we don't advertise a lot of sales because sales we think are kind of hokey. And again, we're Horeen's Pianos Plus. We're located on East Empire Street next to Cohen's.
For years, you've heard a lot about what DuPont Accent post-emergent herbicide for corn doesn't do.
It doesn't hurt my corn or my livestock.
It doesn't delay planting.
It doesn't affect groundwater.
Now, let us tell you what Accent does.
It gets foxtails and tough grasses like wild proso millet and quackgrass with one rate of 2/3 ounce per acre.
It gets shattercane, woolly cupgrass, and Johnson grass regardless of the weather.
It breaks down in just 24 hours, and it's rain fast in just 4 to 6.
It lets corn grow where tough grasses once thrived.
DuPont Accent, the one post that works with nature to do what no other can today, what no other will tomorrow. To learn more, call 1-800-9-ACCENT. And as always, read and follow label instructions and restrictions carefully.
It's the Hoop Holiday of the Heartland, March Madness!
And at Century Chevrolet, our first big sale of the year, it's a buzzer beater!
This week, the biggest selection in years at Century, over 350 new and used vehicles.
This week, best-selling Cavaliers, S-Series pickups, and Luminas, all sale price!
And this week, slam dunk your junk. Your trade-in's never going to be worth more.
March Madness tips off at Century with 96 Chevy S-Series pickups starting at $99.88.
$99.88 for a new S-Series pickup. Hard to find Cavaliers. Century has them starting at $11,988.
Over 45 to choose from, $11,988 for Cavalier.
And Luminas with air and more from $15,988. 20 Luminas in stock.
Test drive a new S pickup, Cavalier or Lumina.
Get a free basketball because March Madness.
It's a ball at Century Chevrolet.
Foul up your credit? We can help. Over 20 financing sources on the Century team.
Century Chevrolet Geo Rock 150 and Veterans Parkway in Bloomington.
Not in 100 years.
Not in 100 miles.
Not even in double overtime.
You can't beat Century.
All prices plus tax, license, doc fee entitled.
We have Larry Linville on the line. We'll get back to him in just a second. Dwayne has a story of an accident, information about an accident.
Yeah, just a real quick mention. Mulberry and Fell in Normal. Apparently no injuries, but might be an intersection to avoid for maybe the next few minutes. Mulberry and Fell.
Okay. It's 11:23 at WJBC. Larry Linville, you worked with McLean Stevenson for, several years, right?
Yep, as long as he was on the MASH show. Yes.
You guys started out together.
Yeah, we did. And he was enormously funny, very pleasant person. He was like somebody you'd like to have to be your brother, your father, your uncle, your grandfather, whatever the hell. Pardon the French. But he was really an adorable human being. And
he did like to do practical jokes and
oh yes, he was extremely funny. I mean, he was some of the Loretta and I would go home at night just sore from laughing about what McLean would come up with. He was so perceptive about human beings and their foibles, and he would make comments, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah. I don't know if it was because he was a product of the Midwest, you were a product of California, but I imagine that was kind of an interesting time to be around each other,
Yes, absolutely.
Just because of what was going on and how you looked at the world.
Well, there are a lot of stars. I mean, it's like James Dean, Marlon Brando, Henry Fonda, all these people came out of Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
The Midwest is, it's like a hotbed for talent that, you know, these people have these desires, these feelings, these drives, and it's not a question of escaping the Midwest. It's a question of them taking what they have from the Midwest into like New York or Hollywood and achieving. And by the way, what are you doing besides
working? I've been having a little fun. I've been Lieutenant Brannigan lately, so I have been doing a little acting.
Yeah, like where?
At the Barn, at the Barn 2 Dinner Theater, where you are.
Yeah, what's the show?
Guys and Dolls.
You there?
Fortunately, I don't have to sing by myself or anything.
Well,
you know, but I do a little singing. It's a little warning to anybody else who wants to catch it. There's only like 2 weekends left, this weekend and next, and then they open up Oklahoma.
Oh yes.
So you know, they're doing some nice shows, and we're having some good audiences.
Now let me do your promo. Anyone that wants to see Ken Behrens live, go to
the Barn 2 Dinner Theater.
Yes, yes.
In Goodfield. Are we turning this into a commercial?
Yeah. Of course, I'm doing the commercial.
All right.
And I'm not getting paid for it, so.
But you know, Larry was so enamored with the people out there and the acting and that kind of thing in the Barn. You loved the theater, I could tell, because you actually came back after you finished your run in your show. You came back to see some others and
Chicago to see my prospective bride.
Yeah.
And came down and came through. I mean, it's just. I mean, that theater is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I mean, it's not like, you know, glitz and, you know, mirrors and brass and all this rubbish, but it's oak. I mean, you know the history of it. Can you give us some of that?
Well, it was actually somebody actually came through there. You know this? I think maybe you heard this story. Somebody actually came from like Chicago or St. Louis or one of these places to see a show, and they thought, "Gee, this is remarkable. Can you believe it? They built a theater to look like a barn."
And yet everybody watches, you know, Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland flicks saying, Michael's got a barn.
Yeah.
On the show.
Yeah. So if you want to help dinner theater around here, the number, let me just tell you, and with the WJBC Gold Card Plus, you can save money too. They'll knock half the price off of the second dinner.
Look, I'm forcing you to talk, all right?
Yeah. But it's 1309
Listen,
965-2545.
Because if, you know, there's no theater there, people about in your listening area have no theater. Not like this. 2, I want to come back.
Yeah, we want to get Larry back in the area.
You know, Ken, please tell him where it is.
It's in Goodfield, Illinois, 1309-965-2545. You can go out and see Guys and Dolls, and who knows, maybe someday we can get Larry back to do a show, or some of the other fine people that were there. But
well, I certainly hope so. And Guys and Dolls is one of my favorites.
It's a great show. We're getting some great comics.
I've never seen it, you know, even the movie or whatever. It's about a bunch of gangsters versus the Salvation Army kitty who's kind of converts all of them. You know?
Yeah.
And it's really a fun evening. Some wonderful.
It is one of the best musicals that ever made it to Broadway.
Oh, beautiful songs.
Yeah.
It was revived on Broadway several years ago.
And Bill Hoffman, who did the sets, now designs on Broadway.
Oh, yes.
So.
Oh, wow.
It's a good-looking show. And despite the fact that the cop may be a little overweight.
About as big around as a pencil.
Better long, well, with a bumple in the middle. That's my problem.
Some pencils have those.
Yeah. Hey, it is great talking to you, and I know you just finished a show in, was it New York, where you were like 4 guys on stage and you played like 24 different parts or something?
Yes, we did. It was those people that are, you know, in the Midwest. Graham Greene, the British writer, wrote a small novella called Travels with My Aunt, about the frustrated writer who retires at 50 years old and goes off on a tear across the world with his 75-year-old aunt, and is educated in the ways of the world. And we did this play here, and it was an enormous success and quite wonderful. And we can bring it your way sometime.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah,
In the meantime, you are doing movies and TVs and all kinds of different things, so we'll watch for you.
Well, we're busy, and happily we can make a living being the fools we are
on the East Coast. Larry, I'll let you go. I wish I could talk longer, but we're around to news time, and I want to thank you for going on and talking a little bit about McLean. Good luck to you in your career out in New York these days.
If there's a prayer to be said for McLean, is wherever you are, be happy because you deserve it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Larry, all the best to you. We'll talk later, okay?
Okay, Ken.
Thank you, my friend.
Hey, bye.
11:29 in the morning at WJBC.